I'm Qing Wang, and Professor of Marketing and Innovation in Warwick Business School. And yes, how long have I worked here? It's a long time. I think I came in the year 2000. So I've been working in Warwick for over 20 years. And I'm still here because I enjoy it so much. I'm sure you would agree with me. It's a great university to work. Oh, when you were younger, who did you look up to? Well, this is a good question. I think when I look back in my childhood, what I remembered the most was the books. I was not particularly sociable, I think. Although I had many interests, I loved dancing, I loved playing table tennis. There weren't that many facilities back then. As you know, I was born and brought up in China during the Cultural Revolution, and my parents are intellectuals, so we had very just bare necessities for when I was growing up, and we moved around quite a lot. They were forced to work in the field, and so I just followed them. So I saw most of the characters that I remember very well was the ones that in the novels and autobiographies I read. And I do remember they give me so much comfort when I was reading. It's almost like I could escape from the sort of slightly harsh reality. And I think I was very much attracted to people who have courage and in the face of adversity, and be perseverant and succeed. Yeah, so I look up to some of the characters in my books. Right. What is the next question? If you could change one thing about your time in school, what would that be? That's a good question. I think I would have liked to make more friends, perhaps read a little bit less and be a bit more sociable and make some friends. Because as I said, I've been moving around. I was moving around with my parents. You don't believe it, I went to 4 primary schools and 2 secondary schools. Every school I've sort of stayed for mostly a couple of years. So it was quite hard to make friends. And looking back, I do miss that sort of bonding when you had friends in childhood. Yes, I would certainly make more friends and maybe read a bit less. Okay, so how did you get to where you are today? Well, I think I have come a long way considering where I was in my teens. I think it's a combination of luck and hard work, I have to say. I have been very fortunate. When I was finishing my secondary school, China opened up and the universities were open again. So because thanks to my reading habit, I was able to get into universities. And then I really appreciated the opportunity to study. But I think I was very driven, perhaps because of the opportunities I didn't have before. But I have to say I am probably I'm not so much driven by money or by status. I always thought about what is life? What is it that you should go through life and without regretting? I think that's the sort of anticipated regret that I may regret if I didn't do all this. So I hope that answers the question. What else do you think needs to be done to encourage women into high roles? Yeah, this is a really good question. I think that both the society and the women need to have the right mindset for women in high roles. The society, of course, played a quite big part in discouraging, I think, in old traditional sense. So I think our own mindset as women is also important. I think now I started to adjust after I had some anxiety issues. I started to adjust myself. And I think, firstly, we have worked hard, we have naturally acquired the right skill sets that should allow us to try to take on new challenges. So if we see it that way, and that we have acquired the experiences, necessary skill set to take on new challenges. And we think of the higher role not to fulfill some kind of superficial pride or anything like that, but to challenge oneself and see to become a better person. And that is what I think the mindset that women should have. And we are caring, we're empathetic, so we should be able to do that. Definitely not less capable of our male top colleagues. Yeah, that's getting a little bit too serious. But yeah, what is the last question? Oh, if you won the lottery, what is the first thing you would buy? Well, I mean, to confess, I really never even thought about this seriously. Yeah, so yeah, I think what I remember now, what I would like to do is to invest in the sort of higher education venture, maybe. I always wanted to, to apply my knowledge I've gained from my many years of experience of working in the higher education in the UK, perhaps to help building some educational organization in China. I feel China has lots of, education has lots of good things, but there are certain problems, like very much of exam oriented, and they need to have more critical thinking, more creativity, more think out of the box. So I think that would be really something I love to do, to invest in a venture, and that I can actually build from scratch if I've got the lottery. And yeah, so that's it. And so fingers crossed. Hopefully I will get lottery at some point. I have not get it ever, so maybe it's my turn now.